Good evening, Tottenham fans. It's finished Tottenham 1, Aston Villa 2 in a very disappointing match for Spurs, especially as we had the lead. Quite a disappointing performance overall. Although we wasn't terrible, we still wasn't great either. Aston Villa are always a stubborn team to beat, always going to have a chance with Unai Emery in charge, and two clinical finishes is what really punished us today. Our defenders were not that bad today. Defensively, we were pretty strong. It was just two brilliant strikes that really were hit big blows for us today. Today I want to talk about what's been talked about on Twitter a lot between a lot of Spurs fans. I've read a lot of comments, a lot of statuses put out there. The people are talking about our home form. They're talking about Bentancur and Paulinho in that double pivot. People are not liking that so much. Talking about how we need that number 8 in that midfield as well, a ball player number 8. We'll talk about that. People giving Xavi a lot of stick as well, and I'm going to tell you why I don't think he deserves this stick. I'm going to talk about what we need going forward, like especially attacking wise. And I'll talk about also the bench. A lot of people said we had a weak bench, but there's obviously explanations as to that. So if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you to everyone that subscribed so far. I'm on the road to 4,000 subscribers, and this channel is growing from strength to strength. So thank you everybody that's contributed so far. So let's talk about the game. First of all, in the first 5 minutes, we go 1-0 up. A cross from Kudos. Paulinho hits it back, headers it back into the mix, and Bentancur volleys it home. And so the double pivot there combined together to score a goal. And I thought, wow, what a great start. Spurs started on the front foot. They were really pushing Aston Villa back. But as soon as we scored a goal, it just seemed to go very, very, I don't know, quiet for Spurs. They're just a little bit lackadaisical, a little bit slower on the ball than they were. The first 5 minutes, very fast. As soon as we scored, it slowed right down, and I don't know why. It wasn't long after that as well. I think it was only about 4 minutes after we scored that a long ball over the top. Kudos chested it down and banged it in, but disallowed for being half a yard offside. If he just held his line, that would have been an absolute brilliant goal. So we could have been 2-0 up within the first 5 to 10 minutes, but it just went a bit slow after that. It just really did. It was just, I don't know what happened. I don't know whether Aston Villa upped their tempo or we just slowed ours down. But ever since then, we were getting the ball, giving it away. And the amount of times we won the ball back, so we did the right thing. We won the ball back. We were battling hard, winning the duels, winning the aerial duels, but then giving the ball back to Villa and then putting ourselves under major pressure. And we just kept doing that time and time again. Villa didn't have a shot on target until they scored, and that was their first shot on target. Their second shot on target was a goal as well. So both goals were absolutely brilliant goals. You can't take it away from them. There's nothing. People were blaming Vicario as well for. Whoa, I'm that upset. The microphone is just fallen over. People were blaming Vicario as well for the first goal Jacob Ramsey scored. It was an absolutely brilliant goal. There's nothing Vicario could have done. Most goalkeepers wouldn't have saved that. Most goalkeepers in the world. It was a brilliant strike. And the second one was also a brilliant strike. Vicario couldn't do anything about both of them. Like, I've gave Vicario some stick for the way he deals with crosses, etc. But today, you can't blame Vicario for both those two goals. Maybe the closing down maybe could have been better. Maybe trying to get the block in before they had a shot. But 9 times out of 10, these two shots that these guys made will go wide or over. But they both hit him absolutely perfectly. Buendia scored the second goal for Villa. So we weren't terrible. Like, we were winning the ball back. We were battling. We were winning headers. Kudos played absolutely, really well again. Kudos was getting stick, but I thought he played well today. Odegaard was playing pretty well today. So, there's a few good performances. I thought Danso was absolutely solid at the back there. He was winning everything in the air, and he was very strong, on the ball too. So, I don't know, we weren't terrible. That's what I'm trying to get out there. We weren't terrible. Our home form is definitely a massive problem. We definitely need to prove our home form. A lot of people are blaming the fans, and that's another thing. I don't think it's the fans' fault. Like, the players, in my opinion, need to give the fans something to cheer about. You know, if you're constantly giving the ball away, or conceding goals from distance, when not closing it down, letting it in, or you know the fans are going to get on edge, and they're not going to want to keep cheering for you to play it forward. They're going to get a bit disgruntled, and I don't think as a player you should be relying on the fans to have a good game. You should be out there trying to have a good game for the fans. So I would never blame the fans for that. Let's talk about the double pivot, Bentancur and Paulinho. Well, obviously, like I said earlier in the video, Bentancur and Paulinho linked up well for the first goal, well, our only goal of the game. And so it started off really, really well. I don't think Bentancur and Paulinho had a bad game at all. In fact, Paulinho was absolutely immense in that middle. I thought he really bossed Onana, and Onana is an absolutely beast of a midfielder, and Paulinho was, dominating him, in my opinion. I think Paulinho is one of the best sixes in the Premier League. So, but with the Bentancur situation, I think he used to be this really progressive ball playing player that was actually an 8 and very skillful on the ball, press resistant, but he's just not the same player anymore. And I think that's what people get frustrated with. If we're going to play that system, we need to play Paulinho with a ball progressive 8. And do we have that in our squad? I do believe Bergvall can do that. I do believe that Gray can do that, but they're still too young and inexperienced to be able to be reliable or be relied on at the moment. Bergvall's the closest to it so far, but do we need to sign an 8 to just be in there like an Elliot Anderson? He would be the perfect guy to put in our number 8. He's competitive as well. He likes getting his foot on the ball. He loves a tackle, but he can also play, and he's press resistant too. And that in front of Paulinho would be absolutely awful. I mean, brilliant. Instead of having a double pivot or 2 sixes, actually have an 8 and a 6, which would be a lot better in my opinion. But Frank knows more than me anyway. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not trying to say Frank don't know what he's talking about, but I think this is what people are saying that they're getting very frustrated with, especially at home. Why we're not playing like someone like Bergvall, who likes getting forward and getting on the ball and trying to score goals. We're playing 2 basically 6s that sit back. So maybe that's the issue with the fans at the minute. So Xavi was getting a lot of stick as well, and when Xavi got the ball, he wasn't bad on the ball at all today. He was, he was linking up well with Odegaard, was linking up well with the midfielders, and it's linking up well with Kudos at times as well. But he just wasn't receiving the ball a lot. Like, there's many times, and this is where we go back to the double pivot of Bentancur and Paulinho. Both of them were not feeding him the ball, and the number 8's job is to feed the 10, so the 10 can cause the damage, and he just wasn't getting the ball enough to showcase what he can do. So I'm not worried or underwhelmed with Xavi at the moment. I still think it's very early days to be judging a player that's just come into the side. Look at other teams as well. You got Gyökeres hasn't scored for 8 games now, getting a lot of stick from other fans, but Arsenal fans are still saying he's the best striker in the world. So maybe we should follow suit and support our players a bit more. Then we've got Isaac today. I watched him against Man United. He's absolutely awful. 120 million. He was awful. He hasn't scored for Liverpool yet either. So, it takes time for even the best players to bed into teams. So I'm willing to give Xavi a lot more time. I can see some really good things he was doing today. The same with Odegaard, really good things today. But they're just in parts. It needs to be more consistently 90 minutes of, playing well. So we are definitely missing a clinical forward at the moment. And Moani came off the bench, didn't really do much off the bench. Neither did Richarlison, to be honest. Tell, as much as he's got the heart, he's got the great mentality, he's got the work rate, he just hasn't got the clinical ability yet, or the skill or the experience to be that guy yet. So we need someone like Harry Kane. Do you know what I mean? We had Harry Kane for so long, and I don't think we realised what we had till it was gone, because we need that number 9 to be able to come on the pitch. I know Solanke will be back soon. I know Mawani's going to need a lot of time to build up his fitness and match sharpness again. I do believe Mawani can be that guy, and maybe Solanke in the new pragmatic style might be okay under Frank as well. We just have to give that a chance. But we are missing that at the moment, and it's really costing us. We haven't got a goal scorer in the side. And it just makes our forward play so dull at times. And I think that's why Spurs fans are getting really frustrated with all this. I had a comment earlier as well saying we've got a weak bench, but it didn't help today that Romero got injured in the warm-up before the game. So we didn't have Romero, we didn't have Udogie because he got injured in international duty, although I don't think he played any minutes. So Romero, Udogie, Solanke, Kulu, Maddison... That's 5 top players that are injured at the moment. So, of course, your bench is going to be a bit weaker than it normally would be. But we still had Sarr coming on, Bergvall coming on, Mawani coming on, Johnson coming on off the bench. You know, Johnson's a good goal scorer. You got Bergvall, who debatably could have been starting this game. You got Sarr, who could debatably have been starting this game. You know, Mawani's only just come back from injury. So we've still got, even though those 5 top players were missing today, we've still got 3 or 4 decent players coming off the bench. So the bench wasn't super weak. I don't think the bench was the problem today. I honestly think the misplaced passing and giving the ball away and, you know, no cohesion going forward was the problem today. I still think there's a lot of work to do, and I think that's normal. It's normal to have a lot of work to do. Frank's still a new manager. He's still somebody that's learning his trade at Spurs, learning how to deal with these sort of situations when they're not performing. What kind of players will perform for me week in, week out? What players won't? What positions are best for my players? And he's got so much to deal with. He's only been here for 3.5 months. He needs a lot more time to get us going. So I'm not worried in that aspect either. But our attacking play still needs a lot of work, most definitely. But Frank will know that. He was the same at Brentford. He shored up the defence first and then started working on attack. And it took him over one and a half seasons to start doing that, maybe 2 seasons. Defensively, we weren't that bad. You know, 2 clinical strikes is what lost us the game today. They were willing to take shots from outside the box. We had a couple of chances to do that. I think Odegaard did it once, but then after that he had another opportunity to do it and didn't do it. So we weren't willing to take those pot shots and get that lucky goal, because those 2 shots that they scored were absolutely phenomenal strikes, and they don't happen often, but they happen twice in one game against us. So we weren't terrible, but we weren't brilliant either. There'll be a lot of knee-jerk reactions. There'll be a lot of people saying that, oh, the system doesn't work. Frank's a bad manager. He's too pragmatic. This is boring. Xavi's not good enough. Odegaard's not good enough. Tell's not good. You'll get all this because we've just lost. So we'll get through this next couple of days where people are really frustrated. I understand it. While we're playing, I'm frustrated. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not trying to make up excuses. I'm just trying to say it's early days. This is normal to lose games. We are going to win games that we don't expect to win as well. We might play against Chelsea soon and beat them. We might go to the Emirates and win there when we're not expected to. Things like that can happen. You know, I didn't expect us to lose today. I really didn't. I thought we was going to go and win this game, but we didn't. It's normal. It's early on. It's early days. Frank still needs a couple of windows yet to really get in the players that he really wants, and things will turn around. It seems really bad now, but honestly, it could be worse. Look at Liverpool. They've lost 4 in a row and they've spent 400 million. It's a learning curve for today. We can do better. We know we can do better. It's very disappointing and very frustrating, but things will get better. Let me know in the comments what you thought of today's game. Thank you for watching. Come on, you Spurs.